And obviously we were all very excited, but when I took a step back and I was like, man, what if that was just a placeholder? My theory is, guys, here it is. Here's my conspiracy theory, all right? Please let me know down in the comments below, because once you start thinking about it, you're gonna see what I'm trying to say here. I feel like Charles Oliveira is not gonna fight Islam Makhachev in October. That's not gonna happen. I think this was just a placeholder right now, just so they're able to sell that Abu Dhabi card, because they needed to announce it soon if tickets were gonna go on sale like today. I think tickets went on sale for UFC 294. So if tickets were gonna go on sale today, they needed like a main event and at least a co-main event to announce. Like, and we know that they didn't truly have like this card like locked and stuff like that. Like, you could tell like this was probably like a last minute card that they probably signed on Wednesday. Fighter that's really gonna fight Islam Makhachev in Abu Dhabi will be Alexander Volkanovski. I really think it's gonna end up being Alexander Volkanovski. And what's gonna end up happening is that when we get closer to October, maybe at the beginning of October, we're gonna hear that Charles Oliveira has pulled out due to an injury. No, knew all along. And Alexander Volkanovski will end up facing Islam Makhachev. Now, why do I think the UFC is doing this? I think that truly they wanted to make the Volkanovski versus Islam rematch, but they don't know how Volk's recovery is going to be and if he's going to be able to fight in October. So what they did is that instead of waiting to announce and see if Volkanovski is going to be able to fight in October, they said, we'll announce with Charles Oliveira. They offered a lot of money to Charles Oliveira. That's my theory. That's my theory, guys. And it might end up being wrong. I might be totally wrong. But do not be surprised. I'm calling it right here. This channel. First channel to say this. MMA community. Nobody's talking about this. There was something off about this card, guys. This gives me like cursed card vibes. Like I feel like a lot of these fights are not going to end up happening. And I would not be surprised if Charles Oliveira pulls out of this fight. Because it seemed like if you go back and watch the Charles Oliveira interview from UFC 290, it seemed like the guy had no intention of fighting in Abu Dhabi. Like, hey guys, welcome back to Based MMA. As you guys just heard, I called this thing 2 months ago, guys, and I'm not lying. Go back and watch that video, guys. Right after Charles Oliveira versus Islam 2 got announced, I made a video saying that something was not right about UFC 294. And I said that Charles Oliveira was going to pull out a couple weeks before the fight. And I said that it was going to be due to an injury. But not only did I say that Charles Oliveira was going to pull out of that fight, but I also mentioned that Alexander Volkanovski was going to step in, guys. As you guys just heard, guys, this was a video that I filmed 2-3 months ago when this fight initially got announced, guys. And right now I have a lot of mixed emotions because on one hand, we just lost the Charles Oliveira fight. On another, I called this. This is why you subscribe to this channel, because I put out my opinion, what I think and my feelings. And that's why you subscribe to this channel, because I keep it 100% real. And I just can't believe that it actually turned out to be true. And I'm conflicted because, of course, I wanted to see Charles Oliveira reattempt to get that belt back, and that rematch with Islam Makhachev was a huge fight, and we were all waiting to see if Charles Oliveira was going to be able to make the adjustments to defeat Islam Makhachev this time. And now it feels like that's been taken away from us. But in the same token, we're getting Volkanovski to step in to fight Islam versus Volk 2. Like, that's a fantastic fight, man. That's a fantastic fight. Now, but before we get too excited for Volkanovski, man, because the possibility of Volkanovski becoming double champion on 2 weeks' notice is absolutely incredible. Before we get too hyped up thinking about the possibility of Volkanovski winning, guys, we have to take into consideration that Islam Makhachev is a very tough opponent, that weight cut in that first fight really affected Islam Makhachev, and that he's going to be ready. He's been training, and we don't know what Volkanovski has been doing in his time off. We don't know if he's coming off the couch. We don't know if he's training. We know he had surgery, so we don't know how in shape Volkanovski is going to come into this fight against Islam Makhachev. Now, the good thing for
Volkanovski in a way is that he already has a built-in excuse. You know what I'm saying? He has a built-in excuse because he's stepping in on short notice, guys. But as a hardcore MMA fan and as a fan of Volkanovski, that doesn't make me happy because I want to see the best version of Volk go against the best version of Islam. You know what I'm saying? So I'm conflicted, guys. I'm conflicted. But the craziest part, man, is that I called it, guys. I called it. And I'm not lying. Go back to that video. Watch the whole thing. It's pretty creepy, man. But it is what it is. I had a feeling, man. I had a feeling that Charles Oliveira was going to pull out of that fight. You know, when this fight first got announced, it seemed like the UFC signed that fight last minute because prior to that, Charles Oliveira said at UFC 290 that he wasn't going to be ready for October, that he was looking to come back maybe in November, December. So it didn't really seem like Charles Oliveira was too excited to go back to Abu Dhabi. So this doesn't surprise me at all. And I mean, I don't know. They're saying that Charles Oliveira got injured and he opened up his eyebrow. I mean, I don't know how true that is. I mean, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say that Charles Oliveira is not lying and he truly got injured. But the craziest thing too, guys, is that Volkanovski was the one that stepped in because if you really think about the landscape of the lightweight division, it should have probably been Justin Gaethje. I mean, Justin Gaethje is coming off knocking out Dustin Poirier, winning the BMF belt. Justin Gaethje was due for a title shot. And it's crazy to me that the UFC didn't have Justin Gaethje ready in case something happened in that main event, man. In case one of these guys missed weight or something like that. So I find it kind of crazy that Justin Gaethje wasn't really ready. Maybe they did ask Justin Gaethje, but Justin Gaethje said, nah, I'm not going to take the fight. But Volkanovski's a bad motherfucker, man. The fact that he's stepping in on 2 weeks notice to fight Islam Makhachev in his enemy territory. Huge respect to Volkanovski, man. Huge respect. Whatever ends up happening next weekend, we will always be huge fans of Volkanovski for stepping in and saving this card, man. And like I said, I'm just very conflicted right now, guys. I'm very conflicted. And now we also have rumors of Paulo Costa possibly pulling out as well. So if I was a UFC, go get Dricus du Plessis, go get Adesanya, go get Roman Kopylov, and call them, we got to fly you to Abu Dhabi because you might have to step in for Paulo Costa because Paulo Costa doesn't look like he's going to be ready for UFC 294 because he had elbow surgery a couple weeks ago, and that shit looked pretty bad. So it's crazy what the hell is happening, guys. One of the craziest days in UFC history, guys. And like I said, if Volkanovski's able to defeat Islam Makhachev next weekend, he's the greatest fighter of all time. He's absolutely the greatest fighter of all time. More than Jon Jones. I don't give a fuck. He's greater than Jon Jones. So this is just insane, guys. It's just insane. I'm lost for words. I mean, this is probably not going to be my last video I make talking about this fight. It's kind of funny because I was getting ready to post my Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev 2 breakdown. I was getting ready to post my Paulo Costa versus Khamzat Chimaev breakdown. And with all this fiasco, thank God I didn't end up posting that because it would have been a waste of time. But now we have this incredible matchup, guys. And I feel so sad for Charles Oliveira, man, because I really did want to see Charles Oliveira try to, beat Islam Makhachev. And even though he had an uphill battle in the rematch, I can't lie, as a big Charles Oliveira fan, I was still very excited to see what Charles Oliveira was going to be able to do differently coming into that rematch, guys. So this is just crazy, guys. Please let me know down in the comments below your thoughts. And like I said, please make sure to go back and watch the video where I called this, guys. It's just crazy. Please comment down below your thoughts, guys. I'm excited. I'm sad. I'm mad. I'm conflicted, guys. And it is what it is. I'll see you guys in the next one.